Welcome to the week 6 edition of the Over Under Spreads. And hard to believe we're in week 6 already, Mike. The season seems to be really picking up steam now, and we're getting into the meat and bones of it, shall we say?
Yeah, season rattling along, as they say.
Yeah, it is. Now, there were some notable results last week, some large spreads. I picked 10 of the games, you picked 8. So again, we're pretty close as usual. What was your favorite win from last week? And then we'll do wins first. What was your one you were happy with?
Let's start off on a positive. Chicago covering that big spread against Minnesota. I think that was the only one where I differed last week and was proven to be correct. It wasn't the strongest week for me on my divergences from what the experts think. So I was pleased with that. Don't really rate Minnesota, to be honest. Don't think they should ever be given 7.5 points on anybody, really. Even the hapless Chicago Bears. So I was pretty pleased to be proven right on that one. What about you?
Yeah, well, that one was, I thought they deserved it there because they were at home as well. I just thought, they're not going to blow this, but they got out to a lead, but then indeed they did blow it. So you were very vindicated on that one. Still not trusting Kirk Cousins, sticking to your guns on that one.
Yeah.
I was happy with, obviously the Bills cover was good for me. 14, it's a huge spread, but when he hit the 99-yard throw, that was a good one. But I don't know. I think we both took one that I'm quite happy with as well, which was the Wembley game. The Spurs-Tottenham game. And that was the Giants cover 8 points there against the Packers. Now, those games are always very close. There was just a lot of points to be giving at the neutral field. And I think we can both be pretty happy with that one. They were a super dog, ended up winning that one. And they were given 8 points, which is just crazy, really.
Yeah, well, I think what you said before the game is proven to be true. Is the running game would travel, and it did for both teams, to be fair. But Daniel Jones played a clean game, Rodgers and that offense, they look devoid of weapons, which is what they looked like before the season started, and it's starting. I think the frustration is starting to tell a little bit there as well. So I'd agree with that. What was your least favorite? What was the disappointment for you for the week?
I didn't have too many I was grieving over particularly, but I think
10's a good week. 10 out of 16 is good.
Yeah, well, I think maybe just Thursday night going back quite a bit now, but Indianapolis, Denver. I mean, I think we both said we were taking the Colts to cover that. We picked the Broncos wrongly to do it at home, and they ended up. It was just an absolute quagmire of a game, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, dreadful game. Yeah. The disappointment for me is probably that Bills Steelers game. I just disappointed in myself, really, because rookie quarterback. This isn't your brother's Steelers team. They're not. You can't rely with TJ Watt injured, and and with Roethlisberger gone, they're not going to be competitive this year. And I should have foreseen that absolute drubbing at the hand of the Bills. So tough to pick against Josh Allen covering this season, although he has had some mix. It's tough, but wasn't best pleased with that one.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, it was 14 points. Like, conventional wisdom says you take the points if they're going to give those to you in the NFL. So now Bills have a big game this week, which we'll get to as well. That's going to be a real humdinger, a tight spread as you can expect. Let's on that note, let's let this week's spreads and let's pick them.
Should we very briefly touch on the Thursday night game from this week, which was
paltry 1 point spread in that game in favor of the Bears. We both took the Bears and were really a play away from winning that, to be honest, inches away on the final play. So it's one of those where you probably wouldn't actually put money on because it's a nightmare. You wouldn't back either of these teams in any situation.
Fields still struggling, although he did have 2 dropped passes in the end zone to win the game. And the football team now the Commanders wouldn't have been ahead in that game other than a dreadful muffed punt in their own end by the Bears. So nothing really to hang your hat on if you're Carson Wentz and the Commanders. They still look dreadful. So I think they'll get. I'm going to call it. I think the rest of the NFC East might cover. They'll be favoured, and I think might cover against this Commanders team. It looks like they look woeful, but we'll have to see those future spreads as they come in. But I'd be backing the Cowboys and the Eagles to cover the next time they play them. But that's a story for another day, for another week. So we'll move on to Cleveland, Ohio, where the Browns will be taking on the Patriots and the upstart Bailey Zappi at quarterback. They come in, the Browns, as expected, a 2.5-point favorite. I suppose you could say it's kind of a revenge game for the Browns against Belichick, but does anyone still harbor any ill will? We'd have to maybe get our Cleveland contingent to let us know on that, but
I'm sure they do.
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Tom? Go on, you go first. Then we'll alternate.
Yeah, I'll go first. And as much as I want to take the Browns, it just seems like New England seem to have a plan for teams that don't quite have everything sorted yet on defense. In terms of New England's defense. And I think the Browns are still struggling to find out who they are. They seem to get away from the run in tight situations, which is odd. And they don't necessarily get themselves in good positions to win games. And they seem to give up big leads. And I just think they don't quite know who they are. And Belichick is going to take advantage of that. I mean, they could win it by a point or so, but I'd be happy taking New England to cover 2.5 there. Yeah, I just can't trust the Browns on any spreads. I had a bet on them last week and I had to cash it out. Luckily, I got some money on the cash out. But yeah, I just can't trust them at all. So for that reason, I'll take the Pats.
Yeah. 2.5 though, you're effectively picking a winner, aren't you, as a spread better? I know what you're saying, like they could eke out a 1-point win, the Browns, but more than likely it's going to be at least a field goal margin.
I don't know, the Browns seem to want to go on every 4th down, right, which ends up in them having these weird games that are like decided by a point or two.
Because all the points get skewed. Yeah. I'm gonna say, with Bailey Zappi starting again, I'm happy to take the Browns here as a home favorite. I think they might win it by 3 to 7 points. Tight win, but a win nonetheless. And the Patriots, they're not too worried about dropping this game. They've still got Mac Jones to come back. They were only really a 9-7, 7-9 football team this year anyway. 10 and you know what I mean. Whatever the new numbers are, 9-8, 8-9. They're kind of that 500 football team, and that would a loss here would kind of keep them on the schedule with that. And I think it's about time the Browns showed a convincing home performance. I just think it's at some point it might happen. Who knows? I'm probably taking a gamble there, but aren't we all if we're spread betting?
Well, that's true.
Literally gambling.
I like the logic on that. Yeah, it's a field goal win potentially. So
yeah, if it was a bigger, anything more than a field goal, I'd be taking the Patriots. But yeah. All right. So another AFC North team here, the Steelers at home to the Buccaneers. I imagine, this is a massive spread. Yeah. Quite simply, really, well, hang on, hold on here a minute, because I did just say the Steelers can't be trusted to cover. However, the Buccaneers look. Statistically, Brady's not playing bad here, but they don't look great, do they? I think if I was them, I'd be handing the ball to Leonard Fournette a little bit more.
He had a good game.
They need to score more points. Although that defense against a rookie quarterback, man alive, this is a tough one. purely on the fact that they're at home this week, and that was the worst loss of the Mike Tomlin era last week. I'm going to say that they cover here, the Steelers. Go on, done. What are you saying?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think he's just too good a coach to let this thing get out of hand, and there's going to be some sort of game plan to help Kenny Pickett and keep things tight. And it's a home game as well. There's just too many points to give them here. Speaking of the Bucks, I just had a look, and they haven't covered their last 3 games at all. They began with 2 covers, but they haven't covered last 3. So that says it all for me. And yeah, I agree with you on all of this as well, taking the Steelers. I mean, I don't think they'll win, but it's certainly not going to be 9.5.
No. Okay, well, 2 covers for the Steelers against the Florida old folks home there in Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When the computer will oblige, we will see the 49ers on the road to the Atlanta Falcons. Big favorites. As I would, looking at this the other day, I've seen that line just go out. I think it might have been set at 4 originally, and now it's out to 4.5. Money piling in on San Francisco. That one immediately struck me as one result I wanted to pick, but it's your turn to go first, Tom, so I'll defer to you here.
Yeah, I don't think I can bet against the Niners at the form they're in at the moment. They seem to have got everything figured out with Jimmy G in there, and they're rolling. And I think, it's just, the NFC West, they've got some nice games there. I mean, they seem to be dueling with the NFC South on a weekly basis, and it's just an opportunity for them to pile up wins, really. I don't see this being any different. I think they come in there, force the Falcons to play in a phone booth and miss a lot of tackles, win by a touchdown, in what will be nice conditions there in the dome, for Deebo Samuel to start running around and running through people. So yeah, we've got to take the night. I'd be surprised if you take the Falcons, I have to say. I'll throw it to you though.
Well, no, the thing is though, I was quite comfortable taking the Niners, and then it started drifting out to 4.5, and it's starting to get to a point where it gets a little bit sweaty for me, because this is concerning me, that the Falcons put up points now. They put up points now, and they put up yards. Yeah. But with Cordero Patterson out, it says Pitts is questionable here as well. Yeah, give me the Niners too. Just very quickly on something you said, I think it's the most, I enjoy watching this Niners team, honestly, and one of the most enjoyable aspects is they do force people to tackle. And they play a very physical brand of football. Shanahan going back to Atlanta, of course, where he almost won a Super Bowl. So he'll know the venue well. Let's give ourselves both a Niners win there, Niners cover.
Yeah, happy with that for sure.
All right, off to Lambeau. An angry Aaron Rodgers, you would have to think, at Lambeau Field. Is he that angry though to cover 7.5?
Yeah, the Jets with a surprising win there. Although, sorry, no, you're picking first on this one. So
I am. I am pondering, Christian pondering here. I think. No, I don't. I don't think the Packers beat. Do you see them beating anyone by more than a touchdown at the moment? They're not gapping anyone at the moment.
No.
The Jets have more than enough on the back. I can't believe I'm saying this, but on paper they have more than enough on the back end to disrupt that Green Bay passing game. With Gardner now at corner, they haven't got one receiver that would challenge him vertically. Just keep it simple. I think the Jets cover that. I think it'll be a good game with a close Packers win for me.
Yeah, it's an odd one. It's like an in-betweener, this one for me. But yeah, I do agree with you. You can't trust the Packers. If I took the Packers, I'd be very worried for them to cover 7.5. Whereas if I took the points with the Jets, I'd be happier. So just for that reason alone, and for like a mental security perspective, I will take the Jets. But there's no really there. Just some insight into my mind, really.
There's no need, Tom, to sweat it when you.
No.
There's no need to sweat it on this one. Let's just protect your mental health here. We'll go with a double Jet cover.
Make some safe spaces for my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We will be going to the Superdome.
Oh.
Oof. Flipping heck.
Yeah, I had. Here we go. I had this one at -2.5 yesterday, so this has gone out a little bit here. Mine coming on the Bengals to cover, and I don't blame them. Oh, or do I? Oh goodness, this is tough.
Yeah. Well, you've said multiple times this season we can't back Winston to cover, but now the trouble is every time we say that, I agree. Which, by the way, I agree with that sentiment. But every time we say that, then they give us a little teasing line like this. Home dog with the Bengals O-line is a disaster.
Yeah, it is. And then Taysom Hill obviously went off last week.
They're leaving Russia. Look, he's leaving Russia.
Relieve their issues of it. I mean, I just because of the Bengals, they dropped a game last week, so they're now 2-3, and I don't see them going 2-4. I think they've got a little too much about them here to drop this one with quite a tight line. Even -3, I'll take -3. I don't feel too comfy about this one. No actual money going on this one for me, but I'll take them.
Yeah, agreed. No, not touching this one with the proverbial barge pole here, Tom. I think in a tight one where you don't really know or like anything that you're going to do, really, I just go with the better quarterback. So just give me Burrow and the Bengals. Yeah. Although I have a pretty strong suspicion they'll bungle it and somehow manage to contrive to lose this game. But for the time being, I'm going to say they win, and they win by more than 3 points.
Yeah. Yep, that's makes sense to me. Saints just aren't a great team. I think we both agree Dennis Allen might be on his way out there pretty soon.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know why he got given a second chance, to be honest, just because he was there in the building already, I think. Yeah. All right. South Beach. On this Sunday, October 16th in the NFL. Can you tell I'm stalling? -3 for the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins after my long preamble about them being deeply untrustworthy. Yeah. Well, I don't think Tagovailoa or Bridgewater are going to play, are they? So
that has to factor in here.
It's a huge factor.
Yeah.
But it is Minnesota going all the way down to South Florida, out of their dome into a really different environment, and trying to win on the road.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the home dog here, Tom. Give me the Dolphins. Just purely in my gut, I don't think the Vikings are a 5-1 football team. So based on that, just give me the Dolphins to beat up Cousins with that defense. A lot of blitzes, a lot of man coverage, and then they eke it out with the creative running game that they've got, and try and get Tagovailoa healthy for next week.
Yeah. And they're not covering these spreads as favorites, the Vikings. So I would agree. I want to take him, but I'm going to have to agree with you just for the reasons you said there. And interestingly enough, on this one I would go points total under here. I think this will be a sloppy game. I don't think. Yeah, think it might be like a 2017 affair. So under the
Wow.
45, I'd be pretty
That would
comfy
be
on
that. I'm just going to see if it. Ooh, Tagovailoa is back. Cleared from concussion protocol. Expected to return in week 7.
That'll be in week 7.
Yes. Oh, sorry. We're in week 6. Okay. All right. Well, that's.
Yeah, I imagine they'd be favourites if that was the case.
I was just going to see if it had the weather here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. If we got some sort of tropical storm, this would turn into an absolute mud bowl.
Yeah.
Which would suit the Dolphins. But alas, we'll both take them anyway by the sounds of it and move on.
Yeah.
Less said about that game, the better. I'm not really excited about that one.
No.
This one has actually got some interest for me now because the Giants are somehow inexplicably 4-1. I did think they were. The first one of these we did. I did say they were better than they were last year, and they weren't going to be as bad as the Commanders. But I have to say, 4-1 didn't occur to me. What do you got for this one? What do you got?
Yeah, again, this line's gone out a bit, so I had -5.5 for the Ravens.
That's on here.
Dropped out to 6 points now. A little bit of money coming on the Ravens. So I think really you can't bet against the Giants just from what they've shown us so far, covering a mammoth 8 points last week against the Packers. And I think they cover 5.5 here. I think if the Ravens do win, it'll be a field goal game. But I'd actually, if I was going to go on a limb, I'd take the Giants to win this game. They're at home. The Ravens are constantly another team who would just get into these close games all the time. Every single game, I think there was a stat: every game they've played at home has been a one-score game for the past 2 years or something.
Wow.
So I would take the Giants to cover. Home dog, simple as that. Give me the Giants.
Yeah, big home dog. So I'm going to take the Giants too. I'm a bit higher on the Ravens than you are. I think they're going to be a good team. Wink Martindale will have a plan though on the Giants' defensive coaching staff. They'll have a plan for Lamar. They know what he doesn't like, which I imagine will be a lot of single high man coverage, forcing him to throw outside. But
good point.
We'll see. We'll see on the day. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. Oh, an AFC South showdown.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Pick a winner at -1.5 Colts. I don't know how you can favor the Indianapolis Colts in any game of football from what they've shown us this season. I don't care how badly the Jags played last week, and they were atrocious. I mean, goodness me. No, I'm going to keep this quite simple. I think Doug Peterson is a better coach, and I think Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback. I don't care. It's on the road. Give me the Jags.
Yeah, it'll be to extend the 100% covers in AFC South for the underdogs this year. Every single time. However, I'm going to go against that. I'm going to go against the graph or the analytics, as they would say in the NFL. And I would say just because the Colts got beaten up by the Jags when they went down there, this is a revenge game for them. I don't think the Jags are good enough to win those divisional games. You often see them split the series. So I think the Colts come back here with a win. Interestingly enough, the Jags started as 2.5 point underdogs. Now they're only 1.5 point underdogs. So it would show you that the public's siding with you, Mike. But when that starts happening, I tend to have a look at the other team. I get a bit more value now for the Colts. So I will split with you on that one. As these teams, they split wins.
Very nice. I like it. All good reasoning. All good reasoning there. AFC South is just. I mean, who knows? I think we would be misleading people if we expressed any kind of confidence that we knew what we were talking about with the AFC South. It's a shit show, isn't it?
But take the underdog usually.
Yeah. Speaking of taking the underdog, a home underdog here, the Seattle Seahawks against pretty ordinary Arizona Cardinals team. So
Yeah.
you're picking first, aren't you? Yeah, you'll go.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a simple one for me. Seahawks win this game. Seahawks should be favored in this game. You're going to agree with me, I can tell. We're buying a bit of Geno magic this year, enjoying it. But it's all, I just can't see the lily white Arizona Cardinals traveling up there to the Pacific Northwest and covering 2.5 points as favorites. That's just a very odd one to me. I think the fact they pushed the Eagles close last week. That was a very close game, closer than we thought. We both took the Eagles, admittedly, to cover. But that's probably factored into this a bit. But I still don't know why you'd make them favorites. I think the Seahawks can put up points, and their defense will be better at home with the 12th man. It just will be. So, go on, Seahawks.
Yeah, and as we saw at the end of that Eagles Cardinals game last week, the Cardinals aren't very well coached. They don't communicate very well,
Yeah.
and you're going into that environment with communication issues and a lack of high quality coaching. I don't see how. Yeah, I think they're very evenly matched talent wise overall. With Murray being the slightly stronger quarterback, but Geno is my boy this year. He's going to get the start for me in fantasy football this week to get me off the schneid. And he's going to take down the Arizona Cardinals at home and get them to 500. The Seahawks, my second team this year. I've officially adopted them. Loving what they're doing this year. They're great fun to watch. And to be honest, in that late window of games, I might just exclusively watch this game. It should be a good one.
So Kenneth Walker, we're getting the starter running back. That'll be fun to see.
I'm really pleased with that. I think he should have got more carries.
Yeah.
He should have got more carries anyway. Admittedly, Penny has really come on the last 2 years, but
he has. Yeah.
Sad to see him get a bad injury, but I'm looking forward to Kenneth Walker too, because that boy is explosive. Right. What are we doing on time? 11.5 minutes. So we're pretty good. We've only got 4 to do. So Panthers at Rams under new leadership. The Wilks. Well, I think what we should touch on before we do anything is we did call correctly, I think on a couple of these episodes, we called Matt Rhule being the first coach to go. And sayonara. He'll be back. He'll be coaching Nebraska next year. See you later. Big Ten for him. Oh God, whose go is it? Is it my go?
Yeah, it's you. It's you. You can dwell on this one.
I'm not going to dwell. I'm not going to. Oh no. You always get a new coaching change. You always get a bit of a bump. Honestly, the LA Rams cannot keep Matthew Stafford vertical in these games. He's just getting smashed. They've got Brown inside the Panthers. They've got the big boy inside. They've got Brian Burns on the edge. They got a couple of pieces on defense. They're a decent defensive team, and that keeps this game close. I don't think they necessarily, they won't threaten to win the game. I just don't think they get blown out by more than 10 points with the Rams. The Rams would take a field goal win in this game and just get out of Dodge. They're looking desperate. The good news for the Rams in this one is that Panthers fans will not travel for this, and even if they did, they wouldn't make any noise. So for once, it's actually going to be home advantage for the Rams.
I'll disagree. I think this is more about the Rams defense matching up against the anemic Panthers offense. None of the coaching changes they've made are going to help the offense at the moment, by the sounds of it. Baker Mayfield's going to get smashed more than Stafford. It's a big spread, but I think I'll just differ with you on this one because I got burned the other week in a college game, admittedly, by taking a team who just fired their head coach. We're talking about the Cornhuskers, of course. I thought they'd cover a spread afterwards, but they got hammered. So the change in coach did make no difference. So just on that alone, I can't trust the Panthers. I'll take the Rams and we'll split this one.
Great. Okay. Well, look, divergence now coming down the track. We've got a few we differ on, so that's always good. Game of the week for me. Joint game of the week. I think No. This is the game of the week. If Prescott was healthy, Eagles Cowboys would be the game of the week. But
Yeah,
this is the game of the week. I'll let you take it away. Chiefs fandom, off you go.
Yeah, it's an NFL dream. I mean, the Chiefs have had a lot of primetime games, so I'm not surprised it's not in prime time, because it means I can watch it as well, which is good. But the Bills are really annoyed, pissed off, to be honest, about how things went down last year. I think the revenge is a factor here. I'm going to stick my neck out and say the Bills win this game by a field goal in the end. It probably comes down to who has the ball last. I just think the Bills want this more at the moment. And for the Chiefs, it's kind of like how you're saying with the Rams would be happy to get out with a field goal win in the last game. I think the Chiefs wouldn't be unhappy to drop a game here, given how absolutely garbage the AFC West looks at the moment. They can afford to drop a game, and it's not really a worry. I just think the Bills want this more, and they'll take it. Buffalo.
Ooh, Patrick Mahomes, an underdog at home. I think it's too tempting for me. There's that. There's Reed and Mahomes being a home dog. That will not have gone unnoticed, I guarantee you, in the locker room. I pointed this out last week, and this still troubles me. Didn't factor in against a diabolical Steelers team. But I think Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, is going to have something here. Unless they can run the ball and keep the Chiefs honest, he's going to start playing inverted cover 2, zone blitzing, all kinds of crazy stuff to confuse Allen. So I'm going to take the Chiefs. We'll differ on this one too.
I like that. I mean, it's a tough one for me. But it's more just the emotional ride that the Bills went on, and how they've been stewing about this since last January. They want to come back and win. My prediction is that the Bills win this, but then the Chiefs beat them in the AFC Championship. I'll stick my neck out and say that.
Okay. So in case in the unlikely events that any Chiefs fans are actually watching this, you're going to redeem yourself there with that. Okay, that's fair.
I will, yeah. But they can get quite angry, Chiefs fans, as I found out before, if you don't say the right thing. So just got to get that side note in.
Okay, nice one. I don't know what I was talking about earlier. I thought this was in prime time, if I'm honest. So I will be watching Bills Chiefs and Arizona Seattle simultaneously on Red Zone. There is no way I'm missing Bills Chiefs.
Well, your Eagles have been flexed to prime time here for a nice NFC match.
And I have to think
Dallas for the Metroplex TV marketing.
I have to think the only reason they've done that is what you alluded to earlier, is the Chiefs and Bills have already been in prime time too much.
Chiefs have been on way too much so far.
I mean, there is. I mean, go on.
Game.
This worked out. This was very serendipitous. So I didn't plan it like this, but you got to pick your team's game first. Now I'm going to pick my team's game first. We've got 4 minutes. We've got plenty of time. We've got 4.5 minutes. So I'm just going to make this quite simple. So Eagles do not cover 6.5. Dallas Cowboys keep this tight. The Eagles' entire O-line is going to be healthy for this game, which is huge given the state of the Dallas Cowboys pass rush. I think this defense is elite. And as I said, if Prescott was healthy, I think they're now, I mean, as much as dismissive as I was of them earlier in the season, with a healthy Dak Prescott, I think that these might be the two best teams in the NFC right now. With a healthy Dak Prescott for Dallas. So I'm going to say the Eagles just about get it done because it's at the Link. And they have enough on the outside to trouble the Dallas corners. They're not as good against the pass as they are against the run. And I think will just about have enough here to get through, especially with Cooper Rush playing at quarterback for the Cowboys. I think the Eagles' pass rush is one of the best in the NFL this year. And Hassan Reddick, under the radar, is playing almost as well as Micah Parsons. So
Yeah.
I think Eagles in a close one. Dallas cover the 6.5 though. Go on then, Thomas.
Yeah, very good reasoning there. I think that if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you're angry that you're 6.5 point underdogs here.
Sure.
I don't know what's gone into that. Aside from the obvious that it's Cooper Rush, but Cooper Rush is one.
It's just purely name recognition on the quarterback.
Yeah. So it smells to me. It smells with it, and when that happens, I'll pile in on the underdog. It's a divisional game as well. So nothing further to say. Dallas cover this one.
Yeah, there's just too much logic in it. If Dallas won the game, I wouldn't be surprised or that annoying. Really, the Eagles need to drop a game at some point, and if it's against Dallas, that's fine. We'll go and beat the Jerry World later in the year. Okay. Final game of the week. I didn't forget about Monday Night Football this week. I normally do.
Well, I would have forgiven you if you did, because this is another classic AFC game that is just.
I set you up for that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are just again because it's a divisional game. I'd have to take the Broncos. You know my thoughts on the Chargers. I'm never too high on the Chargers, to be honest. I think I dislike them more than any other team in the AFC West, which says something. But it annoys me that they would be 4.5 point favorites in a divisional game. I just don't see them doing well here against the Broncos. Offensively, I think the Broncos will shut them down, and defensively, the Chargers always have some lack effort plays, or they just let something slip at some point. Coaching is an issue for the Chargers. You can guarantee if this gets into a close game, the coach is going to fluff his lines and call make some questionable play calling and or down and distance calling on those fourth down. So yeah, it's a divisional game, so give me the Broncos. But again, I probably wouldn't put money on it. It's just too many points to give them.
Yeah. No, nothing more to say on that, really. Yeah, I think Broncos cover in a tight divisional game. I think the Chargers will win the game, and the Broncos coach might be the second one to go because they look pretty clueless at the moment on offense, which is remarkable considering how much they're paying Russell Wilson. So yeah. All right. Well, I've got the nudge from Zoom here. We're at the end of our time, Thomas. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll rejoin next week and see how we fared.
Yep, always a pleasure, Mike, and look forward to it.
Nice one. All right. Well, take it easy.
Yep.